So when school started in August this year, I sat myself down on the ground outside the Swedish Parliament. I school striked for the climate. Some people say that I should be in school instead. Some people say that I should study to become a climate scientist so that I can solve the climate crisis. But the climate crisis has already been solved. We already have all the facts and solutions. And why should I be studying for a future that soon may be no more, when no one is doing anything to save that future? And what is the point of learning facts when the most important facts clearly means nothing to our society? Today we use 100 million barrels of oil every single day. There are no politics to change that. There are no rules to keep that oil in the ground. So we can no longer save the world by playing by the rules, because the rules have to be changed. So we have not come here to beg the world leaders to care for our future. They have ignored us in the past and they will ignore us again. We have come here to let them know that change is coming, whether they like it or not. The people will rise to the challenge. And since our leaders are behaving like children, we will have to take the responsibility they should have taken long ago. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Great. Almost 700-800 of you have chosen to spend this beautiful spring day, or is it winter, in the dark conference room. I hope we will make it worth your while. My name is Johan Hustad, and I'm the chairman of the board of the NTNU Energy Transition Initiative. We are hosting the Energy Transition Conference for the third year in a row. I'm happy to see so many fresh, young people in the audience today. And I'm also, of course, happy to see all of you who are not quite so young as well. The reason why I'm happy is to see young people representing the future. And you bring fresh perspectives to the table. We need that, obviously. In just months or a few years, you will be there making decisions, providing the knowledge of a few and contributing your skill set somewhere in the job you choose. I have high hopes for your generation, and you inspire me, just like Greta Thunberg. And I hope you will be inspired today, because in 11 years, I expect to stand here on the same stage and be able to see we did it. In 11 years, 2030 is our first true checkpoint for our very serious ambitions to cut emissions, and have executed the first major changes in the energy transition. And you will be at the center of this change. You are the leaders of the future, the ones that will make decisions in technology, investments, personally and professionally. What will you decide? Where will you spend your money? You will make good decisions in the future, and we have to do it now. In only 11 years, Europe will have to cut emissions by 55%. That is, if the new ambitions are accepted. In less than 2 weeks, since the last time, the EU Parliament voted on a resolution to increase ambitions. They say it happened because of the strong engagement of the youth. The climate strikes that have spread a lit of fire in the minds of a whole generation. Last week, I joined the school strike here for climate in Trondheim. You can see the pictures, and I often wonder how we ended up in this situation. School children feel the need to take on the streets to strike, to get politicians to listen to scientists. While some politicians say they should be at school, I think the strikes show that they have done their homework. They are proving once more that strike is a strong tool in changing the rules of the game in a society. And it made me question, what does this mean to me? First of all, as a father, it makes me proud that we have raised a generation who feels the responsibility for our planet, who use their democratic rights and tools to raise awareness and create the change we need. Second, as a scientist, it makes me wonder if we scientists have done our job well enough when we need the help of school children to get attention to the knowledge that we have produced. I guess the answer is obvious, but I say it anyway. We scientists have not been good enough and clear enough when we share our knowledge and give our advice. The science is clear, the advice is clear, but the communication has not been efficient enough to make decision makers actually act on it. So, I do still hope that initiatives like this Energy Transition Conference can contribute in sharing and debating the knowledge we have. Perhaps some actions can come out of it. Third, it makes me sick to my stomach, for my generation has let it come so far. We, and a few other generations before me, have done many great things, brought billions out of poverty, and proved food and provided food and energy, health and wealth for all. Not for all, but we have not done it in a way that is sustainable. Fortunately, most of the world agree on how bad the situation is, what targets we need to set, and how urgent we need solutions. It is the solutions we are debating here today. How can we transition from a society we are to a society we need to be? We will need scientists to provide solutions, but more than anything, we will need brave politicians. I hope politicians will be energized by the young, impatient generation and seek long-term solutions instead of short-term fame and approval, to quote the famous activist you just have seen on the scene. We will hear from many experts today, from the stage, from our expert panel here in front. I hope you in the audience will contribute with tough questions and comments as well. That's important. And I hope that when you leave today, whether you stay for dinner or not, that you take away a sense of urgency, a sense of hope, and the motivation to contribute to a future sustainable society. Thank you.